Thanks for joining us. I'm Kyle Clark.
And I'm Jennifer Meckles. An Aurora paramedic convicted in the death of Elijah McClain is out of prison tonight.
This afternoon, a judge converted Peter Chichuniak's 5-year prison term to just probation. 9 News reporter Ria Jaz here. And Ria, the 5 years was the minimum he could have gotten for his conviction, and then the judge, in an unusual move, cleared it away entirely.
Right, and this case was handled by the Attorney General's office, who said in a statement, "We're disappointed the court reduced his sentence today, but we respect the decision." I spoke with a community activist who said there's nothing about this he respects, asking why even go through the court's process if it can be undone in just a few months.
This guy was given the minimum, not the maximum, but the minimum sentence. Now look, he has no jail time coming.
After serving a few months of his 5-year prison sentence for the death of Elijah McClain, on Friday, a judge decided that Peter Chichuniak won't spend another day behind bars.
He got sentenced in March. Hell, this is September. That's what, 4 or 5 months later? Give us a break.
Alvertus Simmons, an Aurora civil rights activist, says it feels like justice has been revoked.
It might not meet public expectations, but it actually comes as no surprise to me. The same statute that requires a 5-year minimum mandatory sentence for second-degree assault has a bit of an escape clause for the court.
McClain's mother, Shanine, wasn't surprised either. In a statement to 9 News, she said she expected leniency.
We don't stand a chance because, as you can see, history shows that we don't stand a chance as black people.
This kind of reconsideration under the mandatory crime statute is not statistically common, but it does happen, and it's built into the very statute that Chichuniak was sentenced under.
Prosecutors said this type of modification has only been used 22 times since the law was passed 50 years ago, arguing that lowering his sentence would undermine the jury's verdict.
You get a verdict in support of black people, then you take it away. We have no faith in the criminal justice system, none.
Chichuniak's sentence was reduced to 4 years of probation, the defense pointing to his lack of criminal history and strong community ties.
He has community ties, yet he helped kill a man. Death is that's apples, oranges. We rather Elijah McClain had been here to talk about his community ties.
Now, neither Chichuniak or the other paramedic, Jeremy Cooper, will do any prison time after being found guilty for giving a lethal dose of ketamine to McClain. Cooper was sentenced to 14 months of work release and a few years probation. DOC said Chichuniak's release was initiated earlier today. Ria Jha.
Thanks, Ria. Not a bad way to end the week on weather. We got things cooling off a little bit. Denver stayed out of the 90s today thanks to an overnight cool front. And we have more of the same for this weekend. We've got football, like the Broncos home opener on Sunday.
There'll be some roasty folks out there in the sun, Lauren.
Roasty folks is true. We're going to see those temperatures back in the upper 80s as we move through Saturday and Sunday under lots of sunshine. So if you're planning on going to any of the big games around the state this weekend, you want to make sure that you're prepared again for the heat and the sunshine out there. Now, we take a look at our live radar. Right now, we're pretty dry and clear across Colorado. We did get a few stray raindrops off to the south near Colorado Springs and south of Castle Rock. Those are going to continue to dry on out. The rest of us can continue to watch for a clear Friday night ahead. Now, moving a day ahead here to the CU-CSU game. We do have that planned for tomorrow evening up in Fort Collins. Now, that's going to be just after kickoff, starting at 5:30. So we're going to watch for those temperatures to, or just after the highs for the day. So we're going to watch for temperatures around kickoff to be in the middle 80s, and then we drop into the 70s throughout the game. I'll have more details on this, plus the Broncos home opener and what the rest of your 7-day forecast looks like just ahead.
Today, for the first time, jurors in the King Soopers shooting trial were able to see the security camera footage of the gunman killing people at that store in Boulder. The silent video was played on day 7 of the murder trial. Jurors also heard from forensic psychologist Dr. Thomas Gray. He interviewed the defendant several times at the state mental health hospital. Dr. Gray says the shooter has schizophrenia, described him as somebody who speaks very little. The doctor said the shooter shared that he heard voices, but didn't say what they were saying. He told the jury that the shooter's family had reported that he was paranoid.
As I've asked before, being paranoid doesn't make somebody insane. Correct. Even having delusions or hallucinations doesn't make somebody insane. Correct.
Prosecutors also played parts of the shooter's interviews. He said that he felt an adrenaline rush during the shooting and his anxiety went away. Dr. Gray testified that the shooter knew that his actions were illegal and that going to jail was a possibility. The defense could begin its case on Monday.
Today, Broomfield police have identified the man behind an active shooter situation at the Arista Flats apartment that happened earlier this week. Police say Gregory Miles is still in the hospital tonight. Yesterday morning, police say he got into a shootout with police after also shooting at other apartment units and a parking lot off Highway 36 in Wadsworth. He, the 34-year-old, was also hit several times, and police say Miles ultimately took a woman hostage and killed her. Police have not identified the victim, nor have they explained any relationship between her and Miles. He's now facing a murder charge. Some of the people who live in that apartment complex were allowed to go back home yesterday. Others had to wait until this morning to be let back in. Tonight, Weld County Sheriff's Office is asking for the public's help as they look for a missing woman. She's 42-year-old Amber Dawn Williams, last seen after being released from the Weld County Jail back in March. Detectives do not know which direction she went, if she left on foot or in a car. They think she could be in Estes Park or Greeley. Amber has blonde hair, brown eyes. She's 5 feet tall. If you know where she is, Weld County would like to hear from you.
Wheatridge police are looking for the public's help to find a man who stole $16,000 worth of camera gear from a camera store. Investigators say it happened at the Mike's Camera off Youngfield Street on Monday, September 2nd. Employees told officers a guy loaded up a large duffel bag behind the counter and pushed a worker on his way out the door. Police say the case is similar to one out of Denver, similar suspect description. This is surveillance video from the robbery in Denver. Wheatridge police want to talk to the man who's seen on the video there. If you know anything that you think could help, you're asked to call Wheatridge police.
There's a procession and a memorial service set for tomorrow for an Arvada firefighter who was killed in a crash last month. Kyle Trombley died August 25th. He was off duty at the time. The 34-year-old served with Arvada Fire for 13 years. So tomorrow's procession starts at 8:30 in the morning at Arvada Fire Station 1. That's off West 57th. They'll go west on 57th, north on Independence, west on 58th, and then north on Ward Road. They'll end the procession at Faith Church off Wright Street. They'll have a memorial service there. The public is invited to show support if you'd like to line the road, the sidewalks along the procession route. That service, which will be live streamed, we'll share that as well. It starts at 11 a.m. The service itself in person, though, is not open to the public. Court documents say the guy who fled from police and crashed a truck onto CU Boulder's Folsom Field caused more than $100,000 worth of damage. Court records show it all started about 6:45 last night. Police say Carl Haglin hit another car in his truck, then drove off. Witnesses tried to stop him, but then he kept going. Records show he hit a second car, a street sign, a tree, almost hit people that were walking nearby. Police ultimately backed off on their chase for safety reasons until Boulder campus police spotted this guy.
And honestly, anytime somebody drives to a big landmark like that, we have concerns, what's their intention? And so before we even dealt with the car, we had to make sure there wasn't explosives. Those are all things that were going through our minds of why is this guy coming here specifically? Is there more to this? And so they negotiated for a few minutes and were able to take him into custody.
Court records say Haglin was having a manic episode, was yelling incoherently before he was arrested. Now he's facing several charges, including vehicular assault. That chase ended on the 40-yard line at Folsom Field, caused up to $150,000 in damage. Repairs, they think, will be finished this weekend. Good news, Buffs are in Fort Collins again for the Rocky Mountain Showdown. They're not back at Folsom until September 21st when they play against Baylor.